For ease of disassembly, it is recommended to have a few specific items on hand. The Cpv valve disassembly drawing should be on hand for reference throughout the entire process. You will need 2 open-end wrenches to loosen the pneumatic piston from the adapter, a large open-end wrench to loosen the panel nut from the bonnet, and an Allen wrench to loosen the set screws on the panel nut. A 1/4-inch pneumatic fitting and a supply of clean dry shop air or nitrogen with at least 80 psi is required to operate the pneumatic actuator. You will also need something to protect the face of the valve from damage when in a vise. A spare set of Cpv nuts works well. Before starting the disassembly process, it is a good idea to remove as much dirt and other contaminants from the outside of the valve and actuator as possible. To start, protect the face of the valve. In this case, 2 Cpv nuts are being used. Secure the valve in a vise and be sure that it is level. Using an Allen wrench, loosen the set screws on the panel nut. Next, attach your regulated air or nitrogen source. Ideally, you want to partially actuate the valve so the stem is not under load. Once actuated, you can now loosen the adapter from the pneumatic piston. You will not be able to fully unscrew the adapter until you are removing the entire actuator assembly. After the adapter is loose, you can loosen the panel nut from the bonnet. Be sure to fully unscrew the panel nut from the bonnet. You can now lift the actuator off the valve and finish unscrewing the adapter from the piston at the same time. For this part, you will need 2 large adjustable wrenches and a rubber mallet. Use one adjustable wrench to secure the cartridge and the other to loosen the gland nut. Once the gland nut is loose, you can now loosen and fully remove the cartridge from the valve body. Note that the cartridge is a left-hand thread. Holding the cartridge securely, use a rubber mallet to lightly tap on the stem to remove the seat. You can now remove all the remaining parts from the cartridge. Before reassembly, make sure that all components are adequately cleaned. Carefully follow the instructions for using the stem seal toolkit and insert the stem seal into the cartridge assembly. Be sure that the stem seal is fully inserted into the cartridge before proceeding. Reverse the disassembly instructions in order to reassemble the remaining parts on the cartridge. Be sure to insert a new O-ring into the valve body before threading the cartridge assembly back into the body. Before tightening the cartridge into the valve body, reference the provided Cpv torque tables for the proper torque spec. Again, reference the Cpv torque tables to properly tighten the gland nut into the bonnet. Finally, to reattach the pneumatic actuator, reverse the disassembly instructions and remember to partially energize the pneumatic actuator to ease this process.